Good afternoon, viewers. Today I am going to take a subject known as business economics. This is only an introduction. Mind it, that this is only an introduction in my way, in my style. Okay, when you go for economics, economics is nothing but a social science. That is, it studies about the society. Society means a group of persons coming together at one place. It is nothing but society. So, your house is a society, your working place is a society. The Hyderabad, Secunderabad cities, they are societies. The India is a society, and the world is a society. Because so many people they are telling that the world is a global village, so automatically it will also become a society. Now, coming to this economics, before going to economics, first of all, we have to take into account the civilizations. The ancient civilization is Greek civilization, and after that, so many civilizations they came to light. And when you go for this economics, it studies the society or the civilizations. So don't be of that opinion that this business economics is a recent developed subject. It is there in our ancestor from our ancestors' time. And this thing, it will study the society and the people living in this society. So a person, good economist, he told that this economics subject, it is there from cradle to graveyard. That is, right from birth to death, you will come across this society and you will come across this subject. That is how a man is behaving, how things are coming, how things are going, what is the price, what is the demand of the various products in the market. It studies how people they will behave when we take into account a large number of persons. Beware of the fact that no individual will be in a same manner. That is, they behave in a same manner. They won't be alike. Different people they will have different opinions, and their behavior also it will be different. As we take into account a small example, take your hand and you will have 5 fingers. Like how they are not same, in the same way people also they are not of the same way. Whatever it may be, the products that are available in the market, they are also not one and the same. They seems to be alike, but you will come across so many variations in the products. Okay, for example, if you take into account example an apple, you will come across different types of apples. Mangoes, different types of mangoes. Okay, like okay, rasalu, pedda rasalu, chinna rasalu, okay, bangini belly. So like that, so many varieties, but all are mangoes. Okay, by seeing that you will say that it is nothing but a mango, but when you take into account the size, shape, and the taste, they are entirely different. They are entirely different. In the same way, or whomever it may be that is living in the society, they will be in a different style. So this economic studies, it will take into account all the attitudes, all the behaviors of the people, and it will give us the information that this is the way that the people they are behaving. So many authors, so many ancestors, they told that a person will have seven shapes. Suppose if you take a person, same as that person, you will come across seven persons in the world. But when you take into account the behavioral pattern, behavioral aspects, they are entirely different. Okay, there may be, for example, I'm giving my example only. Okay, like me, there will be seven persons. Okay, Hari, this man he looks like this, this man he looks like this man he looks like this. So, like that, people they'll say, but the behavioral patterns and the attitudes they are entirely different. Some are good, some are bad, and some are worst. So, like that, you'll come across. But the economic subject it will take into account all the people and it will study all the people and it will derive a conclusion that this is the way that people they are behaving. In the same way, whatever it may be, the services that are provided. Okay, I'm not talking about the goods, please. Whatever it may be, the services that are provided, they are also different. Okay, some people they'll do a good service, some people they'll do a best service, some people they won't do the fair service. Like that, services, okay, also they will differ. But generally people what they will do is it is nothing but a service, it is nothing but a service. But thing is, the giving of service is entirely different. In the same way, the economic subject also it will come across so many variations, so many differences. Even though there are variations, even though there are differences, it will take into account all the things and it will give us a good result or conclusion that this is how the society is, this is how the person is, this is how the product is, this is how the service is. When you go for economics, you should not read that as how you are reading the other subjects. You have to understand, you have to analyze, you have to see the depth of the subject, how depth the subject is, how deep the subject is, what it is studying, what are the limitations, what are the assumptions. Because in economic subject you will come across so many assumptions, so many limitations. At every step, you will come across some obstruction, and people they have to overcome this hindrances, obstructions, and you have to read carefully about the subject. This way, it is nothing but economic investigation or economic inquiry. People they have to go for investigation, they have to go for inquiry, then only they can able to understand. Blindly they should not follow one word. They have to investigate, they have to observe, they have to go into that, deep into that, and then it has to come to a decision. Like that, the economic subject it will take into account so many aspects, not one aspect, so many aspects. A person who is very rude, very tough, very tough, very rude, he may be soft in his art. A person who is so soft, who seems to be so soft, he may be rude, he may be rude. So like that, you'll come across so many things. And there are so many examples. Even if you take into account the ethics, even if you take into account the ethics, there you will come across. All the people they will scold or they will abuse Ravana. Okay. But you have to take into account the good aspects as well as the bad aspects. He is the son of, he is the grandson of Brahma. He is the son of Pulasya Brahma. He is the most politician. Okay, he know all the Vedas. He know everything. And he used to worship Lord Shiva like anything. But the one mistake what he had done is he captured Sita and he brought to his kingdom. And there is a reason for that. There is a reason for that. Unless otherwise he won't do that. The life of Ravana, it will be like that only. He want to go back to Vaikuntha because it is nothing but the curse given by some saints. So like that, so many people there. But when you take into Rama, oh, Rama is great, Rama is God. But what he had done, what he had done, okay, he killed Ravana, okay, fine, thank you. Okay, but after getting the kingdom, again he sent Sita to forest when she is in a pregnancy stage by hearing the words of a, okay, Dobi. Okay, so this is good. When you are anchoring about Sita for so many years, by hearing the words of a person, an ordinary person, you should not do that. You have to think. Where is your thinking? So, like that, you will come across so many behavioral aspects. And this economic subject, one thing I am telling you is, this economic subject, it will take into account all the aspects, not only one aspect. And it will go deeply into that and it will study that. So that's why it is termed as a social science. And economic subject, see the peculiarity. Economic subject, even though it is very tough, it will have its impact or relationship with other subjects. When you take into account engineering, when you take into account science, when you take into account the accounts, so whatever it may be, the things, ethics, mathematics, everything it will have its own influence. So don't be of that opinion that economic subject is a limited or a nutshell subject. It will have wide variation, wide range of prominence in our society. When you take into account the investigation and the inquiry, we'll come across two important things. That is inductive method and deductive method. These two things you have to study. And there is another thing that is nothing but microeconomics and macroeconomics. Okay. And again, if you go further, you'll come across positive economics and normative economics. So, like that, whenever you go for investigation, you will come and cross all these things and you have to know about those things. What is positive economics and what is normative economics? If anyone asks, he will say that positive economics is the economics that it will take into account the positive aspects. Fine. What about negative aspects? Don't be of that opinion that everyone will have a positive attitude, positive thoughts. Sometimes negative things also will come into picture. So you have to take into account the positive things and you have to leave the negative things. It's not true. When you want to study a thing, when you want to study a person, when you want to study a product, when you want to study a service, you have to take into account the positive things as well as the negative things. Then only the whole picture will come to you. Otherwise, you cannot understand about that. So in that way, okay, positive economics, it will take into account the good things, no doubt. It will also take into account the negative things or the bad things. Okay, in that also, how far you will come across, whether it is good or bad. Okay, normative economics, just for namesake, they will come, but they will have their impact. They will have their impact, and no one is said to be compulsory follow that normative economics. Okay, normative economics, it is easy for us to tell to somebody, but as far as individual behavior, it is not. So when you are telling good things to others, you must see that whether you are good or not. That is the thing. So normative economics and positive economics, both the things you will come across when you go for investigation. Not only that, not only that, microeconomics and macroeconomics. Microeconomics, it deals with single or individual, that is individuals, that is individual person, individual product, individual price, individual cost, individual all the things, individual qualities, all these things it will take into account. That is nothing but microeconomics. Macroeconomics, take into account the aggregates we have to study. Okay, what is the behavior of some individuals? What is the behavior of some products? How they will be sold? How you are going to get? What are the different prices? What are the different costs? For which product we have to take that cost? For which product we have to take the price? So all these things we have to take into account. That is nothing but macroeconomics. And when you study this, without understanding microeconomics, no one can understand the macroeconomics. So microeconomics, it is nothing but a helping hand. That is, study of an individual product, individual person, individual thing is must. Unless otherwise you cannot study about aggregates. That is total employment. Okay, total population. All these things you will come, you have to take into account. Total paddy, total production, all these things you have to take into account. Unless otherwise you won't be very thorough with a single product, you cannot go for an aggregate. That is nothing but macroeconomics. So without microeconomics, there is no macroeconomics. And macroeconomics, when we follow macroeconomics, you cannot study deeply. Just overall you can study, but not individually this. So that's why microeconomics is nothing but a stepping stone for macroeconomics. Okay, this is one thing. Now we are going for deductive method and inductive method. What are these things? Deductive method, taking into account the particulars, deriving a general conclusion is nothing but deductive method. Inductive method, from general to particular. From general to particular. You cannot impose that. You cannot rub that on so many things. So that person is a good person. You have to follow means his individuality his, and my individuality is mine. Okay, why should I follow that person? Okay, I have to look after myself. When he eat, it means that my stomach won't be filled. When he drink water, don't be of that opinion that my thirsty will go away. Okay, in the society how it is. Okay, even the gods also they are like that. We have our individuality. Overall, you are telling that we are gods, agreed, but we will have our individuality. So deductive method and inductive method is also very, very important. Okay, from particulars to general and general to particulars. Okay, so many families, they are spoiling with this. They'll take one person and they will tell that you must be like that person. Okay, what is there? He is behaving in that way and I am behaving in this way. When every person, when they want to climb a chariot, who is the person to carry that chariot? No one. Okay, we have good as well as bad. And we have to see the bad, and out of that bad, how far we can take a good thing. That is most important. Good things are okay, fine, but bad things we have to take into account, and in the bad things also we have to see how good we can derive from that. This is about the economic subject as an introduction. Here I am stopping this, and afterwards I will continue this subject. Thank you. And those people who want to take online tuition, I am going to take accounts, okay, business law, statistics 1, statistics 2, advanced accounting, corporate accounting, income tax, everything for UG standard. So if you want, I'll give my cell number 9849238902. If you are interested, you can contact this number and you can go for that. Okay, thank you. Please subscribe to my channel. Don't forget.